Paul Marleyn. I almost went blank on your name, Paul. Too many names in my brain here as we were looking for music and looking on the program. Not a name to be forgotten. Paul Marleyn, the artistic director of the International Cello Festival of Canada, which launches on Wednesday. Say hello.
Great to be here.
Officially, as opposed to when I leave the mic on and we hear all the background stuff. Paul, do you want to be on the webcam? I don't know. We are on the webcam, and we'll post that on our website at classic107.com after the show. So we'll wave hi. Hello.
Hi there.
So, Paul, welcome to Classic 107. That piece that we just played has some meaning to you. Tell me.
It does have some meaning. It brings back some memories because I played the piece with Dann Bernstein, actually on tour in Japan and Greece, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan.
Incredible.
Many years back, actually. And he was incredibly inspiring, crazy figure. He actually turned up for the first rehearsal on the back of a motorbike.
Really?
He literally drove into the hall. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy man.
And who would have thought? We didn't plan it, folks. I wish I could tell you we were that smart, that we planned that piece of music just for you, but I'm sure that brings back a lot of memories for you.
It does. Yeah, he was an incredible composer and conductor, and that's one of his biggest hits, Candide. I was actually playing with the European Youth Orchestra in my dim and distant youth. That I was playing with Bernstein, and that was such a privilege, such a fantastic conductor.
Wonderful. Okay, so you are here to talk about the International Cello Festival of Canada, which starts this Wednesday. It runs June 18th to the 22nd. Classic 107, very proud to be the media sponsor. There's a lot of things that we can talk about the festival, but let's just start overall. For anyone that hasn't heard of the festival, this is only the second year that it's been done. What is it about?
What's it about? It's about the cello. It's about celebrating music and the sound of the cello and the love of the cello. And it's celebrating the community of Winnipeg, because I think a festival like this couldn't thrive in the way it does in Winnipeg anywhere else in the country, and we saw that so clearly in 2011 in our first and inaugural festival. We couldn't believe the response. The first night was pretty much sold out, and for that to happen, the first concert of a new festival, of course we didn't know what would happen. And in fact, a week before, there were almost no tickets sold. And in the week before that first concert, there was this huge acceleration. And that's actually what we're seeing again this week, although our ticket sales are considerably higher than the first festival, which is really exciting.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, we actually had a meeting discussing these things last night, and we were all pretty excited to see what's happening.
You set me up, Paul. You paused there, and I thought, oh no, is he going to say they're significantly lower? So I'm thrilled to hear they are even better than last time.
Yeah, which is great. So it's I think there's such a festival spirit in Winnipeg. When I was living here, I loved going to the folk festival. The jazz festival is fantastic. The New Music Festival. And the New Music Festival is something of a model for us, because the following and enthusiasm that festival creates and the crowds that it draws, I couldn't believe the first time I went to the New Music Festival, played at the New Music Festival here. And somehow there's a real festival buzz and festival spirit that exists in this city, which I don't see in other places. That's really
great
exciting.
To hear. That's really great to hear. What is it, Paul, about the cello? It is my favorite classical musical instrument. Well, I think it's a tie between the cello and the guitar. You are a cellist, a wonderful cellist. What is it about the instrument that drew you to it?
Well, Claudia, I think you have great taste in instruments there. What drew me to it? Actually, I started on the violin, and I didn't do very well. My sister tried to teach me, bribing me with Smarties. That was totally unsuccessful. And then my mum brought a cello home, and maybe because it was bigger than the violin, maybe because my two sisters both played violin. I wanted to be different. I don't know. But somehow, I think it's the sound, because it's so close to the human voice. It's such a human sound. And it's really completely in the range that both the male and the female voice can sing in. I think for that reason, it really speaks to us. It's a very moving voice, certainly to me anyway. But what you mentioned, cello being your favorite instrument, one of your two favorite instruments, I hear that very often at concerts. Yes, so many people say that. And I think it's the humanity of the sound. Also, the cello, the shape of the cello looks a little bit like beautiful human form.
Yes, it's a very sexy instrument.
It is.
Not only in the form, but the way it's played.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very physical instrument. So I don't know, maybe it's those reasons that I was drawn to the cello. Also, I love the varnish of instruments can be so beautiful, and particularly some of the cellos you're going to see in the coming week, just fantastically beautiful instruments. That's all part of it. And I think also what it is about a cello festival is that cellists really get on well. They enjoy each other's company. They like hearing each other. They celebrate each other. They all come to hear each other. You don't really hear of oboe festivals and violin festivals. They don't take place. But cello festivals are pretty popular, and they have a really strong following. So I think it's really those things, and also the repertoire for the cello. The cello's really come into its own in the 20th century, really, and this is music that I think is music of our time, 20th and 21st century. So that speaks to us, I think, too.
So let's talk about the program for this week. Are there any highlights for you that really stick out?
Well, there certainly are. We start off with some flash mob cello interventions in Morden and Brandon and Winnipeg and Ononole, right across the province. And we wanted to start off really setting the tone that this festival is in the community. It's part of the community. We're not in an ivory tower somewhere in a distant concert hall. So that's going to be a real highlight. And these performances, these flash mob invasions of cello, are all going to take place simultaneously at noon on the 18th in all these different galleries, shopping malls, cafes, all sorts of different locations. The details are all on our website. So that's a highlight. The opening gala concert, I think, is going to be pretty spectacular. The soloists who are playing are truly some of the greatest living cellists, many of Canada's greatest cellists. Probably names you know well: Yegor Dyatlov, Matt Heimovitz, the Russian virtuosi cellist Alexander Rudin. So fantastic performers. And right through the week, when we have an incredible lineup of nationally and internationally renowned cellists, and all of the professional cellists living in Manitoba are taking part in the festival, which I'm really delighted about. Also, we have an orchestra of 50 young cellists ranged from age 5 to maybe 25, playing at 6:45 on the 18th in the Westminster United Church.
That's going to sound incredible.
It will, and it looks pretty cute too, I can tell you.
I think that's one of the things that I really love about this festival is how you've managed to incorporate not only these incredible cellists performing for us and performing wonderful works, but you've also incorporated young people and master classes and workshops, and so you really have a variety of people, from those that are just starting to the masters of the instrument. You also have a wonderful competition, if you will, the tell me if I'm pronouncing this right, Nelsova Memorial Award for Canadian cellists. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, Zara Nelsova was perhaps the greatest female cellist ever in the world, and she was from Winnipeg. And I had the privilege of spending about a week with her. She was a fantastic lady, born in the North End, So we wanted to celebrate her by setting up a competition, and this will be our second competition. And the 3 finalists are pretty fantastic, young, talented cellists. So that'll be very exciting. That takes place at 2:00 on the 19th in Eckhart Grammaté Hall. There's some pretty hair-raising pieces of music being played. I know actually all of the 3 finalists. The cello world is quite small, so you tend to know everybody, especially the young, talented people coming up. One of those finalists, Raphael Weinroth Brown, is a real metalhead, actually. He's a guitarist, he's a drummer, he plays in a heavy metal band in Toronto, and he's a mean cellist. He has some of the fastest fingers I've ever seen on a cello. Wow. And the other 2 finalists are fantastic players too. Mentioning heavy metal, we have actually a heavy metal cello quartet playing, doing a bit of wood shredding in the Gas Station Theatre on the 19th of June, starting at 10:30 p.m. Probably go until about midnight. A bit of jamming going on there. So that'll be a real highlight too. So we've got a bunch of a lot of variety in the festival. We have a beatboxing cellist. Matt Heimovitz, you probably know, is a very interesting alternative cellist, winner of the Grand Prix de Disque. He's going to be doing, he's playing a Bach suite, he's playing a Schumann concerto, and he's also playing for 15 minutes, and he's going to announce from the stage what he's playing. That's in the New Voices concert at 11:30 on the 19th. So I don't know what he'll play. I guess we'll discover when he walks on stage. Also, Arnold Choi, who's a super talented Canadian cellist from Calgary, he recently won the use of the Bonjour Stradivarius that belongs to the Canada Council. It's an incredible instrument. So he's going to be bringing that to the cello festival. Yeah.
That everyone will be allowed to look but not touch.
Probably. I guess that's up to him. It's a little bit of an embarrassment of riches. I sometimes wonder, what should I mention in interviews like this, because there's so much going on. My advice to cello lovers or classical music lovers is buy a festival pass and come to the whole festival.
Absolutely. Great advice. And if you'd like more information about the festival, you can go to International Cello Festival of Canada.ca, all spelt out. You can also go to the agassizfestival.com for more information as well. This is going to be a wonderful festival. We are so excited to be a part of it. Speaking of this very wonderful cello that people will get to see, you yourself, Paul, have a beautiful cello as well. Tell me about it.
I do have a beautiful cello. It's a Pietro Landolfi made in 1770 in Milano in Italy. And I was pretty inspired in many ways in the 2011, the first festival, to hear so many fantastic cellists all playing together, also playing in halls that I know so well, in a city I know so well. And I had a nice cello then, not an inexpensive cello, but somehow I realized it simply didn't compare with the sort of cellos I was hearing. And actually there was a cellist at that festival, Jin Wong, who made an incredible hit, Chinese cellist. And he played on my cello, and he didn't actually. We're good old friends. We were at university together. He didn't say too much. He said, Paul, if you got a better cello, you learn from a great cello. Ah. It's interesting. They teach you. And he just those few words, I thought, maybe I should take his advice. Anyway, so now I have this beautiful Landolfi, which I bought in Chicago 2 years ago, which I just love. It's inspiring to look at. It's inspiring to hear the sound, and it's true that it speaks to you. Actually, it kind of beckons you towards a sound, and the sound very often reflects the varnish. They go together. The varnish is like the visual image of the sound, and it's such a gorgeous sound. And I think that's just going back to what you were mentioning earlier. It's the sound that speaks to. That's what draws an audience, I think, and draws people to the cello and to music.
Well, I Thank you so much, Paul, for coming down to the studio and telling us more about the festival. And we'll be hearing much more about the festival as we get near to Wednesday and as we go through the festival with lots of events happening. I will be hosting a concert, Paul. Michael Walsh will be hosting, the host of our morning show. And, of course, Bill Richardson is all over this festival. You'll be seeing a lot of him as well. And I'm excited. I can't wait.
And we're really excited to be partnering with Classic 107.
Thank you. Paul, I asked you to pick a piece of music, something that we could go out from. So tell us what you've picked and we'll play it.
Well, this is called The Minstrel Song by Alexander Glazunov, a wonderful Russian composer. And this actually encapsulates what we were talking about, the sound of the cello. It's played by Yuli Turovsky, the wonderful Russian-Canadian cellist living in Montreal with a group he used to direct, E-Musici.
So why this piece?
Why this piece? Just because I love it.
Well, good enough reason for me. Paul Marleyn, Artistic Director of the Cello Festival, which launches on Wednesday. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.